Hi. Today I want to talk about the major scale, which is the most fundamental scale that we have in music theory. Even if you don't play music which is based around the major scale, so like actively as you might think, it's still important to know the major scale because all of the theory that we'll learn, other scales, chord construction, modes, all that sort of stuff, is all referenced with regard to the major scale. So even if you think you're not going to be actively playing the major scale, you need to understand it and its theory, because it's going to be your frame of reference for so much else. Okay, so what is a scale? Well, a scale basically is a series of notes with a pattern of intervals between them, and it's that pattern of intervals that makes the scale unique. So in the case of a major scale, the pattern of intervals that we've got starting from a root note is 2 semitones, 2 semitones, 1 semitone, 2 semitones, 2 semitones, another 2 semitones, and then 1 semitone. Gets us back to our starting point, but 1 octave higher. And it's those pattern of intervals that makes the major scale unique. The whole tone, semitone, whole tone, so on. If you took another pattern of intervals starting from the same note, semitone, whole tone, semitone, whatever, it would be a scale, but it wouldn't be a major scale because it's not following the major scale set of intervals. Okay, so if we start from a root note, say C for example, and play that pattern of intervals through, we get C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. That is the C major scale. Pattern of intervals based on a root note of C. What we can do, if you've got a copy of PhatPhish with you, it might be useful here to see how the notes of the scale are mapped out on the fingerboard. And what we'd start to do is look for scale boxes, patterns that we can play that scale with. So we start by finding a C note on the bottom E string here at the 8th fret, and we play the notes of the major scale around this pattern. We can do it quite comfortably without having any big stretches. We can do it within the space of 4 frets. So if we start with the middle finger on C, we can play through the C major scale using this box. Okay, that box pattern is quite useful because we can move it anywhere on the neck, and wherever the root note lands, wherever we're starting from with that middle finger on the bottom E string, that gives us our root note, and then we'll play that shape, and it gives us the major scale based around that root note. So if we wanted to play D major, we take the shape, we take it so that the starting note is a D, play it through, and we'll have a D major scale. Right. It's important not to get locked into just thinking in terms of scale boxes. As you'll see from the fingerboard map, those notes occur all over the place. But scale boxes, it's a useful starting point. It's a useful way of getting to know the scale. Because of the way the notes are laid out on a guitar, I'm going to say we're going to move that scale box around and move from one key to another just by moving the box up and down the neck. So you can transpose pieces of music. So if we have a piece of music, something you're probably familiar with, certainly the English viewers here, be familiar with EastEnders theme music. Just playing that pattern based on C. We can take it, and if we wanted to say transpose it down to the key of to A major, all we have to do is move the shape down to the 5th fret and play it through based on an A root note, and we have the same piece in the key of A. As you can hear, it'll sound similar, lower, but it's got the same feel because the intervals between the notes are the same. Okay, so by learning that shape, what you've effectively learned is how to play every major scale, because all you need to do is take that shape, move it around so that the root note is on whatever fret that you want to play the major scale from, play that through. So you've got effectively every major scale possible under your fingers in the space of those 12 frets, just by learning that one shape. Okay, so that's a quick introduction to the major scale. There's an awful lot of theory in music, and so much of it, nearly all of it, is referenced with regard to the major scale, so it's important to know the theory behind major scale. It's a useful warm-up exercise. If you pick up the guitar before the start of the day or before a gig, just run through those scale boxes, get your fingers loosened up, get your ear in tune, and once you've learned the major scale, you've got a good strong stepping stone for going ahead to learn other music theory like chord construction, other scales, modes and so on. So hopefully I'll catch up with you again in another video sometime soon. In the meantime, play well.